On today's show, we are celebrating International Women's Day with our Tyler Rose. Miss Velma is back. Plus, we have a very special guest. Mike Julius, our friend, is joining us from Carnival Cruises. So you must stick around for that conversation. We also are going to be talking about one of Jason's favorite regions in France, Bordeaux. So all of that and a whole lot more on this episode of Love Travel, Live Travel. It begins right now. Hey there! It is me, Joshua Harrell, and my co-host, Jason Block.
In black.
Dressed
Hey,
in.
everybody. How are we doing today?
And this is when
So-
a live show, we get to just hit stop and start again.
No need to start again. We're just having some fun here. Hope you're having a wonderful day as well, and we're glad you're with us.
Yes, if you are joining us live for this Love Travel, Live Travel, you get that?
I got it.
Live Travel. Producer Paul is behind the table, punching the show, and we've got associate producer Christopher in the corner, so we've got the whole gang is here. But if you are joining us live, please join us down in the chat. We can chat about a lot of different things, but we did want to get you started with a poll today. The poll question is, would you go on a mystery trip where you didn't know the destination until you arrived or you got to the airport? Either one. I mean, I think you probably would have some kind of indication when you were on the plane or at the airport, but I feel like...
Unless they blindfold you and put your earplugs in as they board you.
Yeah, I think that might be a little too mysterious. So let us know in the chat, would you be up for that? And or if you had any stipulations. So we'll be coming back to that. But I'm going to go ahead and ask you what would you be down for a mystery tour?
Oh, 100%, yes.
Yeah?
100%. If as long as I'd want to know, what kind of a trip is it?
Okay.
So I divide travel into vacation, relaxation, and touring, learning, adventure. So as long as I know which of the two to set my mind right, yes. Anywhere, let's go.
You know what? That is so obvious. Relaxation or touring learning, but I never would have thought to bucket it that way. I really feel so much smarter right now.
Well, that's the aim. That's the aim here. I feel like that was a low bar we just set, but I'm very gratified to know that I've made you feel smarter.
No, I never really thought about it that way. I mean, I think because I have not traveled that much. When I was younger, we did little road trips.
Yeah.
And so it was mostly a theme park type thing. But it was always, we were doing something. But now a trip is learning and discovering, exploring. And I don't go back to see movies, so I probably won't go back to many places. So I tried to kind of absorb as much as I can.
So you're one and done.
Yeah, I'm a one and done, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's only a few places. If I have family there, then I will go back.
Well, then you feel compelled to go back there, right? Where's a place that you would go back?
Well, I definitely want to go back to Paris.
Okay.
Because I've only been once. And I only ate at the Hard Rock Cafe and McDonald's. And the person I was with got in a fight in French with one of the workers at the metro, which kind of, when someone is having an altercation, I kind of shut down, especially in a foreign place where I don't understand the language.
Tell me
So-
when this happened, you were wearing the Hard Rock Paris T-shirt on the metro.
I was not doing that.
No.
That would have been funny.
That would have been
That
excellent.
would have been funny.
That sounds like quite a trip you had.
Yeah, it was. I did do the Eurostar, so that was,
Okay.
I mean, I did get to experience that, which is a feat. That was quite nice. But yeah, the fact that I did Paris, and yeah, I mean, their McDonald's is different than ours. I mean, I guess I learned something. So I love the fact that you love France so much. My mom
Yes.
has been, and she went all over France, and I mean she lived it up, and mine was quite miserable. So anyway, but since
Well, I'm glad you want to go back. I'm glad it didn't sour you.
yeah, I just know that was just the wrong way to go. But I would definitely do a mystery tour.
Yeah?
And I don't know that I would need to know the bucket because, like I said, I don't. Well, you know what?
See, this surprises me to hear you say this. That you would do it, yes. Because even here's what I know about you.
Okay.
Number one, let's deal with the obvious. The luggage situation, the wardrobe. It needs to match the destination. Not only in terms of temperature and comfort, but overall theming. You have color schemes in play here. Footwear is a whole separate category. So once we get past that challenge, you also like a fair bit of, you don't like surprises, I don't think. Just in general. And one might say you like to know the details of what the day will include and
Well,
have some influence over that.
one might also think that one might not expose everything one knows about the other.
We're just scratching the surface, Joshua. These are well-established facts with our audience here.
Yeah.
But I am super thrilled to hear
I just
this
thought I was
adventurous
gonna-
attitude.
I got a new attitude. Now I'm blushing because I did ask my assistant to create a spreadsheet for when I go on trips that listed out each day
Uh-huh.
and like if there was a dinner or an event, and then it has a column for top, bottom, belt, jewelry, shoes, socks, shapewear.
Shapewear.
Yeah, just in case you need to fit into something. So
That
so
it sounds smart.
it does because the racks of clothes, as you know,
Yeah.
it's the packing. So yeah, we just put that in place. We're gonna try that on my next trip. So-
I think we need to set up a surprise trip for you.
Yeah.
And I feel like we should film part of it.
I'm down.
Yeah, go.
I'm down for it. So do we want to see some of the answers that we have?
Sure.
Okay. Ooh. So we're going to see, these are the answers to the poll question that we asked at the beginning of the show. Would you go on a mystery tour where you didn't know where you were going until you arrived or you got to the airport? So here are some of the answers. Daniela, she said, I would go on a mystery trip, but only if it includes a recommended packing list. Attitudes and Latitudes Travel said, maybe. Would depend on pricing and what is included on the experience. So very practical. I wasn't even thinking about I was like,
Cost
I thought,
be damned.
yeah, just send me on my way. Like someone else covers the bills.
That's an excellent point. I wasn't even thinking about that.
I wasn't. Yeah, that was really good.
I guess I presumed it would be a reasonable amount. I don't know.
I thought
But
somebody
excellent
there
point
was
there.
a benevolent person out there who was going to take care of me. Crystal said I would definitely go on a mystery trip. I'll go pretty much anywhere that isn't Las Vegas. Crystal, I hear ya. I hear ya. Roxana said yes. That's it.
I like it.
And Marisol has an interesting little caveat here. Yes, I would, as long as no reptiles in the destination.
Interesting.
Yes,
I feel like there might be a story there.
I feel like we could peel some layers on that.
Marisol, if you're comfortable sharing more, we'd love to know more
Yes.
about the reptile.
I'm
phobia.
just going to tell you, the Galapagos might not be the place because they have two types of, what are those things? Iguanas, marine and land. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Learned that this week. Let's see. Saltwater Sunsets Travel said no. I do not pack light. I tend to be electronics and camera heavy.
Okay.
I hear you. Bill joins us. Bill, I love you so. Let's see. Happy Friday from somewhere north of the Arctic Circle, heading toward Lodingen, Norway.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us while you're on your voyage. Saltwater Sunsets Travel said, you have to pay for ketchup in France at McDonald's. Fun fact. I don't recall that. And maybe if someone gets in a fight with you, maybe you don't have to pay for it. I don't know. Let's see. Erica Worldvia said, footwear is a whole separate category. I'll take surprising Jason Block quotes for 800, Alex.
Yeah, go.
Bill said, today is National Middle Name Pride Day. Let's hear those middle names. Well, Bill, I'm gonna, because you got to get your own poll question out there. My middle name is Warren. What's yours?
Very similar, actually. It is Warner.
Warner. So the fact that, just so you guys know, we worked together now since 2017, and in the same office. And when we meet people for the first time, they'll mix our names up. And it's funny in an interview. Like, you do feel kind of bad. You're like, oh, you feel bad. But if they had to do the middle name too, that would really throw them off.
For sure.
Throw them off. Let's see. Erica said, well, I'm feeling left out, Bill. I'm ES, no middle name. Erica with her last name and no
middle name.
No middle name. I don't know. And some people have like loads of names.
Yeah.
Like they cram all the names in. Wow. Okay. And Sean said, absolutely, I would go on a mystery trip. And Terry said, before you had to give your full name so often, no one had a clue that Terry is my middle name. And Gwen said, I would definitely go on a mystery trip. And Lisa said, yes, I would go on a mystery trip as long as the wardrobe is provided. Lisa, I like the way that you think. That it's up to your benevolent travel planner and the purchaser of the trip. They are also taking care of your wardrobe. So I love that.
I need one of those.
Yeah, I need that too.
Pay for the trip and pack the bag for you?
Yeah, totally.
Now we're talking.
So, we're just kind of that was kind of a fun poll question. I'm going to kind of shift to another question. There was a story this week about Kentucky who had a contest for naming one of their coaches. And there's been stories about scientific boats being named and things like there's Bodie McBoatface. I remember that a few years ago. And some of the for this coach, some of the names that were thrown out were Coachella, Taylor Shift was one, Tiki Ride, which is kind of cool. We think I can't remember if I can confirm this. Wheelie Wonka is the one that won, but it made me think. We do an annual road show, and I've been pushing pretty hard for us to have a bus.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to throw that out there for those of you at home watching live or at work, because you should be working, but you're watching this. If you had to name our bus, again, I'm trying to get this bus thing to happen. So help me come up with a really good name for our bus. What would you call our bus? So just throw those names in the chat while we go to somebody we've missed for a while.
I know.
She's been, I don't know where she's been on
Off
holiday.
gallivanting. I think.
just tiptoeing through the tulips somewhere. Our Tyler Rose, Miss Velma Tollison, are you there?
I am here. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday and happy International Women's Day.
Yes, thank you. I'm an international woman.
You are.
I like that response.
Yes, I just think this, I got excited when I realized the day, International Women's Day, because this week I've been speaking to so many women entrepreneurs. They own their own travel agency. They are just starting or they've been in business for a while. And it takes a lot of passion and commitment to do that. If you have some startup money, that's great. But most of these women, they are in other careers, but they have a passion for travel, selling travel to someone else, making someone else's memories happen for them. And these women work full-time jobs and have a travel agency that they are trying to get up and get going. And I just want to give them a shout out. It's a hard path to choose, but very rewarding. And here lately, I've talked to a couple of women that told me, guess what? I've been doing this for 2 years, and I'm now making as much or more with my travel business as my day job. And I'm going to give my notice and focus fully on my passion, what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yes.
But
Don't you love that?
do you know what? I love the applause sound effect, but producer Paul, I think this International Women's Day calls for a...
Yeah, girl.
Girl,
Yeah, girl.
I agree. Oh, it's so
You're right. It takes a lot of perseverance and a lot of confidence, and for everybody, man, woman, doesn't matter, right? It takes a lot, and to get to that point where you can say, I've made it, and now I can do that big scary thing,
Yeah.
and say, oh, I'm gonna do this full time.
Yeah. Velma, I know, we have there's a lot of people that you work with that are women, certainly, and they're, as you said, they're working in another job oftentimes, and even if they're not, they're working on building a business. And a lot of times, these women have a lot of responsibilities at home. What have you seen as you've worked with these different people that is helpful in keeping not only a balance, but keeping everything going?
It's very helpful if they go ahead and every day work very intentionally. Every day, and this is something that I work with them on. When you get up in the morning, look at what has to be done that day in your travel business. Focus on it. Get it done early, like payments that have to go out. You don't want to miss someone's payment, that's for sure.
No, you don't.
And then a lot of these women are mothers, and
Hmm.
so I say schedule in. You need to make sure you block that time. Go have lunch with your children at their school. You need to keep doing these things that make your life have a lot of meaning, and don't let those memories go by and later on you're going to regret that. So, and then also, I've discovered many women work 7 days a week when they should not be. And so we work on a plan where they start to realign all of their tasks and all of their duties where they have Sunday off with their family. That's
Hmm.
so important. So
I
it's
think I think
you have to be very intentional.
I think that's good. That's great advice, and um,
Mhm.
especially in that startup time of growing a business, the demands can feel like they don't stop, right? So I think the idea of intentionally setting some boundaries is a smart idea because
Mhm.
you'll definitely find most people will find there are some folks out there who somehow have just superhuman levels of energy, but most of us mortals will find that we burn out at a certain point.
Jason, that is most women.
Yeah. Well, I know that, but
And you know what? I've had people in the past say, I don't know if I want to work with a travel agency where they're also working another job.
Mhm.
You know what? For me, that's the perfect scenario. You have someone who is so committed that they are willing to sacrifice to have that travel business and to make a go of it and make sure that that's what they end up with for their dream job,
Mhm.
career.
That's an interesting.
Hmm.
That's an interesting point of view there. Yeah. This girl is on fire. Had to get another song in.
Oh, I love that one.
Well, Velma, thank you for helping us celebrate International Women's Day.
You're welcome.
And it's so glad to have you back.
Yes, it is.
We've missed you.
Well, I have a lot going on out here in Texas.
I know. You're a very
Grandmas are
busy, you're a very busy and in-demand person.
I think we need to add International Woman to her intro along with Tyler Rose.
yes.
Have you seen her email signature? She has so many titles and accreditations. This woman is on fire. Okay. Anyway, Velma, thank you so much. We will see you real soon. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye bye. Oh my goodness, what an inspiration. So we've gotten some responses to the name our bus
Oh yeah.
question. One was just tour bus. That was very creative, Erica. Thank you for that one. Or maybe she was just saying, "Oh, tour bus." Maybe that's what it is. I needed to.
I'm gonna go with that.
That's the one.
That wasn't her
That's-
name
yeah.
suggestion.
So World via Chris, who is associate producer Chris in the room here, he's calling the Purple Express painted tie dye.
Ooh.
Okay, I can go for the Purple Express, the tie dye.
Is this like an old VW van?
Yeah,
Scooby-Doo style?
yeah, I feel like it's. We've got Saltwater Sunsets Travel said World via Wanderlust wagon.
Wow.
I don't know that I want to pull up on. I don't want to be. I don't know. The Wanderlust I like. I don't know. Now Alan throws in here while we were talking about International Women's Day. A big shout out to all the mompreneurs. Also,
Yeah, girl.
yeah, girl, love it. Saltwater Sunsets Travel is giving us another bus name, World Via Puns and Passports Patrol Bus.
Oh. It's a long name, but
It
I
is.
feel like it's maybe.
But I like that
I
we
like
have
it.
like when we pull up let us see your passport, and have you been enough places to even allowed to be called a human?
I feel like there are sirens that would go on this bus and like uniforms.
Oh, I
It's like
love
a
it.
whole thing.
And a disco ball. Does that fit with
It
the
could.
tie dye?
It could.
It could. Might as well just gonna throw it all in there, right? So what else has been going on in the world?
Let's see. Well, I know you are a bag checker, right?
Yes.
We've established.
I
this.
even make sure I've got that special credit card that gets you the extra bags.
Well, you're wise in that case because Delta has joined some of their companions in the airline industry and is
No.
increasing the checked bag fees. It's to $35 for the first checked bag and $45 for the second. Coming up from 30 and 40. Does not apply to flights from the U.S. to Canada, Mexico, Ecuador, Colombia, Brazil, Chile, Peru, Paraguay, or Uruguay.
Wait a minute. It
Does
doesn't
not apply.
But if I'm going to Atlanta to New York, it does.
That is correct. Not sure why. That's what it says.
That's exactly when I need 4 bags, is when I'm going from Atlanta to New York. But okay. Wow. I mean, if I did the math on the last trip I did, that would be a fortune.
How many bags did you bring?
I brought 6. I did have a travel companion,
6?
but they only had 1, so I needed their extra, because you're allowed
So
4.
you spread your baggage over 2 passengers.
Yep. I do. Why do you think I travel with another person? Not for
It's cheaper to buy them a ticket than to check your bags.
It is. It is. It is.
Oy. Boy. Virgin Voyages.
Okay.
Our friends at Virgin, they are jumping on the remote worker bandwagon and putting together a program for a 30-day remote worker package
Okay.
where you will get premium Wi-Fi, a daily $10 coffee credit, wash and fold laundry service,
Oh.
and early access to restaurants and shore excursions, access to Richard's Rooftop, which is a members-only sun deck, and a welcome bottle of sparkling wine. Prices start at $10,000 for 2 guests staying in a Central Sea Terrace cabin. So these are on sailings in the Mediterranean
Okay.
this summer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guess where I'll be coming to you live from this summer. All right.
So
Well,
that's cool.
I mean, I think that's a really cool offering.
Yeah.
But what?
$10,000 for 2 guests, 30 days in the Mediterranean, including Wi-Fi,
That's a
and $10 a day in coffee credit. That doesn't sound like a bad deal.
No, it doesn't sound like a bad deal. But what I'm just saying is it might give remote working a bad name. Like,
Well.
I mean, if I don't know, it just seems like the party all the time.
Yeah,
All of a sudden,
See now, well here,
all of a sudden, Chris is not making his 9 a.m. Monday morning meetings.
well if he's in Europe, the 9 a.m. shouldn't be a problem.
Oh,
It's-
that's true.
It's the 3 or 4 p.m. one that we might need to worry about.
That's true. Yeah.
he'll be doing it from Richard's Rooftop.
And that's true. That's true. That's true.
I could be down for that.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I thought this was kind of funny. So the TSA is experimenting with self-service screening. And they're doing this in Las Vegas. Producer Paul just gave me an odd look. So I read this and I'm like, isn't the point of the TSA to check you, not to have you check yourself? It's like the grade your own homework or grade your own test in class.
Right.
I just don't trust other people that much.
Right.
So,
I mean, or even checking out at the grocery store. Like at the grocery store or Target, they've got the self-checkout.
Yes.
Okay. That's one thing, but normally there's a supervisor that's helicoptering around.
yes.
But at the CVS, there's nobody around, okay? And
They're in the aisle 12 stocking the
I have no idea if there's a worker and you just like scan and
Yeah.
scan. That is very, very suspect.
So I mean, it's kind of it's basically going to go walk into an automated scanning machine, and it's going to scan you. So I think it's rather than having someone watch the metal detector.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but just the idea of it kind of sounds suspect.
But Las Vegas, they're just
Yeah.
thinking,
Yeah. Would you have ever sat at the security line in Las Vegas? That's not a bad place to try it.
I can't think that I.
Every
The
time
Orlando one
every
is
time I
a-
go through there, Las Vegas, it's just like there's 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, yeah, moving right along. Well, I am very excited because we get to welcome a friend of ours. I posted a picture on social media of our next guest. We ended up on the same flight and we got to sit together. So I posted that if you got to see it. But I am very excited to invite for the very first time to Love Travel, Live Travel, Mike Julius from Carnival Cruises. Are you there, Mike?
I'm here.
Look at
Hey,
you.
How you doing, guys?
You are such a ray of sunshine. It is so good to see you.
You too. I am so honored to be part of the show. This is fun.
Well,
I have so many comments about what your previous topics were, but we won't waste our time on it.
Oh no, we will, because we've got questions for you. Like, what would you name our bus? If we had a tour bus, what would you name it?
Golly.
You can let that mill around a little bit.
I'm gonna let that one mill because I want to make sure it's just right.
Okay,
we have high expectations, so
we do.
make it good.
We do.
Speaking of good taste,
Yeah.
I noticed in your background there's a little bit of a mid-century modern flair to your decoration.
There is. Maybe camera 4, we can pick that up here, Paul. There it is.
Wait, what? No, not that.
Oh,
Not
not
the
that.
show. I'm talking about the blue and the orange. And
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's Palm Springs flair. That's where I live.
Yes.
Well,
I love how we were doing a little plug for Carnival.
Oh, not that.
And he's like, whatever, I live in Palm Springs, and you've got a little mid-century modern flair. Yes, that was a design choice.
let's go back to the ship model behind you. That is a old fantasy class ship model, which are
Exactly.
rare to find now. So you better take good care of that one, Jason.
It is in a prime spot here on the set. We do have it guarded in the evenings
Nice.
and on weekends, just to make sure
Nice.
there's no tomfoolery that will mess with it.
Yeah. Certain people that work on the team, they're not allowed near that area because I just feel like something might happen.
Exactly.
But yes,
It happened in my basement.
do you really?
Yeah.
Well, we just want to thank you because I know that you and Justin and Tommy were all a part of getting that. It's the fantasy. That's the name on the ship, and it came in a gigantic box. Just so excited to have it here, and just thank you guys for sending it. It was the first piece of travel memorabilia, I guess I will say. We've received a few, we've got the stuffed unicorn from Universal. So there's the ancient fantasy ship. It's no longer in service. And then we have the fluffy unicorn. So,
Thank you for giving it great viewership and homage as it
Right.
deserves.
it is very
Absolutely.
honored.
You
Now,
guys are great. You should have this. This should be on network TV. You guys are awesome with it.
you know what? From your mouth to God's ears, okay? Totally. So Mike, for those who don't know you, I just want to make sure that everyone knows you are the VP of North American Field Sales with
Correct.
Carnival Cruises. And
Yes.
we took a little tumble over to LinkedIn and did the maths to see what is that face for? Is that for your LinkedIn profile picture?
I don't know. I don't know what's out there. I'm afraid.
I feel like you're somebody that you're like, whatever, who cares about LinkedIn? Like you just like never even go there. Like I doubt that. But Jason said he's been at Carnival for 35 years.
Yeah. Can you believe it? 35 years. Started in 1989 as a business development manager and director in Iowa, covering the very sexy states of Iowa, North, South Dakota, Nebraska, and Wyoming.
Yeah, go.
That's producer Paul that threw that one in.
Is she from Wyoming or something? That's funny.
So we were talking and you said, he's seen in 35 years cruising has changed a lot. I mean, obviously, like you said, the fantasy class ship, that's not even around. That's not even in service anymore. But we were curious, you've seen the cruising industry change and the ships change and the passengers change, what they like, what they don't like. But next 15 years, what do you want to see cruising look like?
Well, first of all, it's my all-time favorite vacation. I mean, there's nothing like it, right? Where you only pack and unpack once, but yet you get to see a variety of just different destinations.
Right.
Just everything from the onboard experience, and I'm talking about all cruise lines, not just Carnival. And I have sailed on many of them. What I'm looking for in the next 15 years, I think just about every port in the world that is interesting to most people is probably already been there, done that. I think where the cruising is going to move to is more exclusive type destinations that each line has to not only promote their brand, but promote the type of experience they have. Whether you're a river cruise, whether you're a luxury cruise, whether you're a cruise line for the masses like Carnival, I think the private experiences that are being built and will be built are going to be the next big wave for the cruise industry.
So you just see that getting more and more enhanced as we go along.
Probably, yeah, I do. There are a couple of private islands out there, but I think we'll see more and more of that. And it doesn't necessarily have to be an island. It could be on an island, and it could be an exclusive stop, but it's just for that brand and that experience. So I see that actually happening today, and I think it'll even grow more over the next 5, 10, 15 years.
Yeah, we've talked about that before here on the show and other places, and we agree with you. Every time we see a cruise line working on a new private island or a developed area in a port, it's it not only gives better control of that experience, but it's something exclusive you can only receive with that brand. And
Right.
I'd agree. I 100% agree with you that is going to continue. I'm curious if you think what cruisers or cruising was like, in the 80s and even the early 90s, and you look at it today. What's been the biggest change during that time frame? 'Cause there's been a lot of them, but Does something
I,
stick
you
out
know,
in your mind?
I think today's consumers looking for bigger, newer, better, right? So everyone is really hot on the hottest, newest, biggest ship, the icon of the seas. Let's call it what it is. It's iconic. It was a beautiful vessel. It is a beautiful vessel. Royal Caribbean's done an amazing job with bringing light to the cruise industry, right?
Mhm.
And I view it as whenever there's something positive that happens in the cruise industry, it's like our sandbox. We're all going to benefit from that.
Yep.
And I think with what the Icon has done these last couple of months has really put the cruise industry on the map for every cruise line. And I think you will continue to see the ships get bigger, more experiences on board, things that you would never dream of. Like on our ships, we've got roller coasters on our ships. Who would ever think that there would be a roller coaster on board a ship? So I think we're going to continue to see those experiences get bigger and grander and more like wow over the next 15 years as well.
Wow. Interesting.
Well,
When you say that, you're just like, gosh, like what else can they do? Haven't they done it
Yeah,
all? But every time they come up with something new. So
right, exactly.
I
And
want
it's the only thing that limits us is our imagination, really.
I want though, like I want a private island
uh-huh.
that then also has a secret layer underneath the ocean.
The James Bond experience.
I want the James Bond experience.
Right.
Like, I mean, if you have any pull, I'm just saying, you know, just give us that. But only certain guests get that experience. So it's like
Right.
choose
Oh,
your
yeah.
own
It's
adventure.
like the Goldfinger cabin.
If you go left on the island or you go right, you have access. I'm just saying, it could be something.
Left, you go get a cheeseburger. Right, you're in Goldfinger's lair.
Yeah,
Got it.
Goldfinger.
I
Now,
like your thinking.
now you've got a special opening or a celebration.
Oh,
Sorry, I
yeah.
can't
Celebration
get my
Key. We
word
have
out.
our own. Right. I didn't mean to set you up to transition into this, but we do have our own special port, if you will. It's called Celebration Key, and it's under construction right now. It'll be done about a year from this July, so July of 2025,
Mhm.
and it's going to be a Carnival exclusive on the Grand Bahama Island in the Bahamas. And this is important because we will have over 500 Carnival itineraries from 9 home ports and 18 ships that will actually make a stop at this unbelievable
Wow.
island. And just to very quickly, it's uh, when you get off the ship and you walk onto this exclusive experience, you enter through a very large, towering sand castle, and that kind of sets the mood for the rest of the day. Freshwater lagoons. There's 5 different portals. There's family portals. There's adult only portals. There's shopping portals. It's going to be amazing. And this is the next big thing for Carnival. And we're very excited about it. And just keep watching for more information as we roll out about the experiences that every guest will be able to find something that will uh, be attractive to them at Celebration Key, and it's just going to be amazing. The best stop in the Caribbean, if you ask me.
Well, you had me at Castle, and I'll that'll be an offline story I'll tell you about.
On our next flight, right?
There's some layers there. So we've gone a little bit over, so I'm glad that you have indulged us. But we like to ask our every guest one question, and
Okay.
and guys at home, I didn't prep him for this. So here's the question. If you were to lose all your luggage, and I had, whoops, it disappeared, and I had a magical bejeweled wand, I'm going to use this as my magical bejeweled wand, and I could bring one thing back from your luggage, what would that be?
Oh man, probably my eye and neck cream to get rid of all the wrinkles. because I'm so old that I need to take care of the neck and the eyes. That's what I would say. Bring back the face and neck lotions.
Exactly, because you can just take the sheets from the bed and make a toga, but you cannot erase. You've got to moisturize. I knew kindred spirit.
The funny thing about that response,
I am
Mike-
80 years old. Look at this skin.
you look amazing. The best thing about that response is I think you were, being a little bit in jest, but this one here is nodding. Yes, yes.
I love it.
Exactly, eye cream.
You could have had me at exfoliator or moisturizer. I mean, those would be the ones. Those would be the ones.
Oh
Well,
my God.
Mike, thank you so much for joining us. You were such a
Thank you.
pleasure.
I'm honored. I truly am. Thank you.
Thanks for coming by.
He is welcome back, right?
Absolutely.
You're welcome back
Absolutely.
anytime.
Right.
All right, Mike
All right.
Julius, thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Love him.
We didn't get he didn't give us a boat name.
I
mean,
know.
not a boat name.
A boat. Now you see a boat. I could be down for.
Oh, I could have you at boat. Oh, so we could just go. We could just tour different ports around, and then we could go through the Panama Canal, and then we could hit the West Coast. So okay,
Oh boy.
Christopher. Let's look at that. Anyway, we didn't get a bus name from him. So anyway, all right. Well, so Velma chimed in on the bus name. She said, "Love travel, live travel, on the move."
Ooh.
Like that bus name. Bill said, "Magic School Bus of Travel." That kind of sounds like back in the 80s, like a kids program. Our Jesse said, "It is apparently fantastic to work for Carnival." Justin and Tommy, who we know work at Carnival, have had decades with Carnival as well. And Erica said, "You always want to turn left. Always turn left." So Roxana jumped in on the question if you lost everything and
Right.
the bejeweled wand.
Yeah.
She said, "My credit card, so I can go shopping for the stuff I lost." So I like that. And Tommy is joining us. Tommy, who we know and love from Carnival, tuned in and said, "We love World Via." Tommy, we love you too. Sorry we missed you earlier when you left us. We were supposed to have a meeting with Tommy, and I'm sure he is pretty embarrassed that he missed that meeting because I got to say it publicly that he missed us. Ooh, ouch. Ow, row. No, we love you, Tommy. All right, so now we're going to take a little bit of a tour.
Oh, I almost forgot. I was having so much fun.
Well, we're still going to have fun.
I know,
Yeah,
but-
we're still going to have fun. So,
Yes.
one thing I know about you,
Yes.
ever since I met you,
Mhm.
is that you have gone on and on about France. And you love France. I mean, you
I
love
do.
a lot of places,
I do.
but I mean, you really
I
light
really
up.
enjoy France. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we were starting to talk about, we want to talk about different destinations
Mm-hmm.
and highlight them. And we thought, what about a region in France? And you said the number one go-to region in France is Bordeaux
For me.
for you.
Yeah.
And I said, you were like, it's for me, it's Bordeaux. And I was like, that's what these guys want to know. So tell us about why Bordeaux.
All right. Well, so whenever I think about, as you travel to places,
Yes.
right? You can visit them, and you can say, yeah, do I like it here? Am I having fun? But one of the things I always like to think about is this a place I would ever want to live? At least for part of the year,
Okay.
right? Whether or not I actually do, it doesn't really matter. It's just kind of just fun to like, what would it be like to live here? I think a lot of travelers do that. And Bordeaux is a place that I would definitely want to live in, at least for part of the year. So let's maybe we can throw up some pictures here so y'all can see a little bit about Bordeaux. So let's take a little trip, Joshua.
Oh, we've got moving pictures?
We have moving pictures, yes. I'm taking you on a voyage to Bordeaux.
Oh.
So here's the thing about Bordeaux, y'all. To me, you know how we call Chicago the second city, right? Because it's behind New York.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the big metropolis, right? So there's other cities that are bigger than Bordeaux, but for me, it's like a mini Paris, right? It's got some of the same Parisian feel and charm, but not as dirty. It's very walkable. There's a lot of different things to do. Of course, there's the whole region is centered around wine, right? That's what it's famous for. Lots of vineyards and wineries. But you do have a lot of the kind of French or Parisian architecture. You have a very famous bridge there that was actually designed by Eiffel before he built the Eiffel Tower. So this is just a little map of the overall area. So just to kind of get your bearings, Bordeaux is about a 2-hour train ride southwest from Paris, a little over 2 hours. But when you get off the train, which is a great way to get there, you kind of just get dropped off right down in the city center, pretty close to it. It's a very walkable area. And the cool thing about Bordeaux is it's a great home base, kind of like Florence is in Italy, where there's lots of little villages and towns you can visit with Florence as your home base. Bordeaux is very similar. There's lots of little villages and towns that you can take day trips to with Bordeaux as your home base. Some of them you've probably heard of. Saint-Emilion is one. There was a photo of that just a minute ago, which is kind of a medieval village, kind of like a walled city almost, and you can walk down the little cobblestone streets and all that cool stuff. There's a number of other towns. Cadillac, the Cognac region is there. Blaye, Bourg. There's lots of different. It goes on and on. You could find. You could probably spend every day for 20 or 30 days going to a different little town that's nearby. And a lot of the world's most famous vineyards are here. But here's the interesting thing about Bordeaux, and certainly it's a great place if you're into wine. But I'm not really into wine. And I found it to be not only extremely beautiful, but very interesting. And yes, you can go to the vineyard tours and do the wine tastings and all of that if that's your thing, and you could do that every day and never run out of places to stop at, kind of like in Napa here in the U.S. But you could also go to Bordeaux and have a fantastic time and never go to one vineyard.
Right.
That I think is the interesting thing. There's also just it's a very beautiful place, and everybody that we saw in Bordeaux, in the whole region, takes great care. Even if they live in a small apartment or flat, they have beautiful flowers hanging on their little flower boxes, and they take really great pride in, making sure that they're going to show off their foliage. And it's a really just beautiful place. But there's lots of great cafes. There's one place called Rue Saint Catherine, which is the longest shopping street in Europe.
Really?
And it just goes on and on and on. There's the Galerie Lafayette, which is a big famous department store. There's also one in Paris, so it's not quite as big as the one in Paris, but still quite impressive.
Oh, look, there's Julian
yes, and
and Bonnie Lee.
So when our last trip to Bordeaux was on a river cruise, so river cruising is a great way to see this region, kind of like that introduction to the region, because you can go to a lot of these different towns and villages and kind of figure out where would I want to go back.
Right.
So here you can see there's actually like a above ground train or a tram that runs through the city. So very walkable, but also you can hop on the tram and for a couple of euro end up on the other side of town and kind of walk your way back. Here's a picture of that Rue Saint Catherine, which is a very pedestrian only shopping street. It's very cool. There's also a great market scene. Down on the quay, which is like the river walk.
Okay.
They have a couple times a week a market, and the region is very famous for their oysters.
Okay.
Nearby, there's lots of different kinds
Oh,
of oysters.
look,
So here's a picture of us at the at the market.
That's his wife, y'all. Just
That is
so
my
you-
wife,
yeah,
not me
we
and
did-
some strange French woman.
Yeah, he
Um,
just like goes to Bordeaux and picks up the French.
But it's
women.
kind of like, you know, the typical kind of farmer's market kind of thing, and you
Yeah.
can go and just, you know, buy a plate of oysters, buy some cheese or bread, and you know, sit down right there by the riverside and enjoy a nice picnic. It's just a great place. It's a great place to visit, and it'd be a fun place. You know, my dream would be to one day spend a couple months a year there.
That is so. I've always heard of Bordeaux, and just watching the pictures. I mean, obviously, I know you can talk about many destinations with passion, but I've just seeing it as you were talking. That's not what I imagined, because I have been on some river cruises where we have gone into these little towns, medieval towns, or the wine regions. They did look much smaller.
Yes.
And so I did have that kind of vision, and I love flowers. I love seeing a lot of just that kind of landscaping, and I loved seeing the architecture with the landscaping. So what a beautiful region.
It is.
And I love how the oysters like are not fancy. That look like a styrofoam plate.
Oh, yeah,
And
totally.
a little pat of butter. And
It's a very, it's not a pretentious place, which I really like, you know. And there's Paris is fantastic. I love Paris, but there's parts of Paris that can be pretty pretentious. And I mean, you know, just can be, especially if you go, you know, to some of the nicer areas of Paris and you want to stay in a nice hotel. It's going to be not only really expensive but pretty pretentious, typically. And Bordeaux is pretty laid back, by comparison.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, check it out if you haven't. Right now, I was looking earlier today. Flights to Bordeaux from a lot of places in the U.S. about $700. So, not nearly as expensive as some places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, yeah. That's very reasonable.
Mhm.
Anyway, all right. Well, that is a great. So we're gonna bring you destinations, and I'm going on a little river cruise in a couple of weeks.
I am very jealous.
And I am going to make a point.
Okay.
I'm someone who doesn't like to take a vacation. I like to work while I travel, and I have actually said I'm taking a vacation. So I am going to make video of my journey. That's not work. It's just fun video of me traveling that I could potentially use for our show. So, but that does not work at all.
You know, my wife would beg to differ with you. 'Cause I did that once on a trip,
Did you
and
really?
she was miserable. She was so angry with me. Not angry with me, but just because, like, she's trying to enjoy a nice vacation with me. And, you know, here I am, like, hold on, got to get one more shot. It was not the romantic getaway that I promised.
Well, yeah,
God love her.
your wife was with us in Malta when we were trying to shoot one of these shows, and we ended up being late for getting back to the ship. So but she went right along for that adventure. So
She did.
we nearly died, but you know it is what it is. Let's see, and Erica said. Bordeaux is also a fun airport code for anyone playing that game.
Oh.
Do
I
we
don't,
know
even
what
know, I don't even know what it is.
I feel like if she's going to throw that out.
I normally am pretty good at this game.
Oh. BOD.
Bod.
BOD. Okay, gotcha. Thank you, Erica. Your contributions are much appreciated. Anyway, guys, we have come to the end of the show. I had a good time. Did you?
I did.
We had a lot going on.
I know.
Yeah. I hope you guys had a good time. And if you did, please make sure you like, subscribe, share, get your friends to watch, get them to like and subscribe. And don't forget, this is also a podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. So if you're taking the dog for a walk and you don't have time to watch, you can listen to us. We can infiltrate your sound waves. Anyway, we appreciate you so much for joining us live or listening to us or watching us on demand. See you next Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern time, right?
That's right. Love y'all.
Take care.